Hello guys, today we're gonna creating something awesome on Scratch. Now this is first video on my channel. Now what is Scratch? Scratch is coding for beginners, so this is really good place for beginners. Now before we start, I like to join Scratch because joining Scratch makes your own account and you can share projects with your friends or other people. But I have already account, so don't share. Don't sign in. So right there, if once you're done sign in, you can now create your own projects. So today, what we're gonna create? Today we're gonna creating this one. This is really cool. So I think you can play with this. So let's get to coding. Now you need to press the create button. Okay. Now here we have our lovely scratch cat. Now we're gonna delete our scratch cat. Just press the delete button. Yes, and I'm gonna searching for a rocket ship. So rocket ship, this you can scroll. There are many characters. Yeah, scratch sprites. So these are all inbuilt scratch characters. Just a minute. Let's search for rocket ship. Yep. Now here we need to fix some annoying thing. First, we only need rocket ship E and rocket ship A. So delete those two costumes. And here we need to select the whole thing by pressing Control A or select the whole thing. Now make sure this thing to center. Then here you need to click this rotate button, and holding down the shift key makes you rotate perfectly. Every sprite need to point in this direction and go right there. Just press Control A, rotate it to 90 degrees, then turn it on center. Now this is looking really promising. I should really add the background. So go background, and here you can find some backgrounds that Scratch already built. So we have some stars. I'll use stars, or we have space backgrounds. So let's search for you have these backgrounds. You can do any backgrounds you want. I'll create a studio for this. Okay, I'll choose a moon background because this is looking really nice. So let's get back to coding. First, go into rocket ships, right? And drag out when green flag clicked. I'll just zoom in. And here, this is when the green flag is clicked, this code will run. Now go into controls and drag out this forever loop. Now the forever loop runs forever. Okay. Now we need to make a new custom block. These are really useful for some other projects, but the most useful part is this run without screen refresh. This is really good. Name it to Y movement and take run without screen refresh and drag out the Y movement because this is a lot more easier to do. Now here we're gonna create a new variable called just a minute, why did I create a custom block? Sorry. We're gonna delete my variable, create a new variable called speed y and keep it for this sprite only. This variable applies to only this rocket ship sprite. Set speed y to 0 here and clean up blocks. And you see this rocket ship is kind of big also, so I'm gonna set size to hop, that's 50%. And also go to the center. So the Scratch editor is limited to -240 to 140. So this is exactly 480 pixels. I'll set it to 0, 0 for this is a on center. Now here, point in direction 0 because we did turn it by 90 degrees, so we need to face that direction we ask it to. So that should be that. Now on the Y movement script, we'll set, not changing, set speed Y to -1. Then, if key space is pressed, we're gonna set, just a minute, set the speed Y to 1. This will be positive value. Now finally, change Y by speed Y. Now you see this code is working. But you'll see this is boring. Let's add rotation. Rotation is a little bit hard, but it's fine. Let's make a new variable called turn, turn, for this spray only. So here, we're gonna set turn to 0. Clean up blocks. Now, always, we're gonna set turn to speed Y. Now, why did I create a turn variable? You'll find out soon. You see, and we're gonna turn by this degrees, not turn not right but left. You see, we can turn left. Okay. Now this is important. So if you want to only turn to by this direction, then you need to pick two directions. You need to pick one. Turn left or right. Now, okay, that's important. Now we're gonna turn by turn variable. See, we have a problem. You see, this is rotating to opposite direction that we wanted to. We set it to turn by this degrees, just turn left, but it is turning right. Well, I'll tell you. There are two turn blocks, right? So up, which means -50 if on here turn right block. If we turn on this block, if we turn by -15 degrees, it is turning by this one. Okay, so just a minute. Pointing direction. Just a minute. Pointing direction 90. If we turn by -15 degrees, okay, then it is also same as this one. Okay, so which is if you set it to, if you turn by -15 degrees on here, this is same as turning on like this one, turning same as turning right. So how are you gonna fix this? Well, Scratch has a really good block called apps. Apps is a absolute value, which is -1 becomes 1. 1 becomes just 1. So it is really useful. So surround this in an apps. If you're running the project, it just rotates nicely what you told it to. But you see there's something missing. I really want to add a particle system. Well, this is really easy to do. First, we need to paint a new sprite. I already have that. I already have the costume. Just a minute. I'll delete. Yes, I have already on my backpack. I used it for quite a long time ago. Another rocket ship project. You can find that. Just a minute. This second quite. Hey, just a minute. You can draw them easily because those are circles. Here. Oh, this is a new sprite. And drag the color. I'll tell. It is by 20 by 20 pixels, and here this is really easy to do. You can use a circle to draw a circle. So in is nothing. So inside is nothing, and out is a little bit bright red. Now let's call it. Now just keep it. Now how we're gonna do this is we're gonna do some code. So drag out the when green flag click block. Then we're gonna hide this sprite. Now this hide blocks hide this sprite. So you see this is on show. You can see it right there. You see there's a show button. This is a show and this is a hide. Okay. Now here we're gonna go to back layer. This is layered on back. This is a layering block. This is really useful block. Now here, forever, go to rocket ship, then point in direction. This is direction is a little bit tricky to find what this thing is pointing at. So we're gonna do is a plus. You can play around these values to what is matching. Well, here is 180. So here, now we need a thing of thing block. Thing of thing block is useful because you can choose those sprite only variables. Now choose a direction. Now bring in a if key space is pressed. This is detecting if key is pressed false, key is pressed true. It detects. This if block, if the key is pressed, which is key space key is pressed, which is space key pressed, this boolean block says true, then what you're gonna do is create clone of myself. This makes copies of sprite. So here there's when I start as a clone. Now we're gonna show because this sprite is hidden. Because if you make this sprite hidden and then create clone, clones also hide. So we need to show this. Repeat for 15 times. And move it for 10 steps. You see 180. You see 180 is pointing the opposite direction. So we can move by 10 steps. Then of course, let's add a fancy effects. You're gonna change the color by 1.5, then change size by -5. And of course, we need to delete our clone. Because why? We don't need to delete our clone. Well, you see, Scratch has a limit of how many copies, which is how many clones we can create. That's 300. So if we repeat for a long time, and if now clone count gets 300, then we cannot create no more clones. So we need to delete this clone. Okay, now if we try running the project, then yeah, boom boom boom, you see everything is working great. And I hope you have a lot of fun trying to create using this one to create something perhaps even more exciting, like awesome things. So have fun with this. I'll make a studio for this. And thank you for watching, guys. I really hope that you have fun time on Scratch.